Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Jay's Flicks, and today I'm going to be dropping my review here for Captain America: Brave New World, which I had the chance to go see today in theaters. And I must say, this movie was about what I expected it to be. I didn't have super high expectations going into it. I just didn't expect it to be some, groundbreaking Marvel movie. We haven't had one of those arguably since Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was pretty good. I would say that's probably the last, Marvel movie that I watched in theaters, really in general, last Marvel movie in this saga, in the Multiverse saga, that was like really good. And that bar I knew was not going to get hit by Captain America Brave New World, but I thought it was going to be decent at most, which it for the most part was. Anthony Mackie, I think, given what he was dealing with, which is what I'll get into here in a second, here in the review, he did a fairly good job as Sam Wilson slash Captain America. Now some moments were a little cheesy, of course. Like I could tell that he had fun playing in this role, having his own movie. After spending some years as a Falcon, him first appearing in Captain America: The Winter Soldier as Sam Wilson, then eventually working his way up there. Becoming an Avenger and. Then you got the whole thing with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, so it's you see the progression of his character and how he's feeling in his mind, and now that he's taken upon the mantle of Captain America given to him by Steve. And personally, he's dealing with that, but the movie doesn't really go down that route as much as I thought they probably would have. It's like I don't know, but I'll get to it in a second. But before we do that, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button here on Jay's Flicks. Where we're gonna keep dropping some videos for you guys and keep watching movies and shows. I got some things I do want to talk about here on the channel, so stay tuned for that. But I really wanted to make sure I got this video in for this movie. Like I said, I went to go see it today. Didn't know if I was going to watch it before, and I ended up going to watch it because I'm like, I have to drop a video about Captain America: Brave New World, even if I absolutely hate it, which I did. But wasn't like jumping off the walls about it either. And so, if you have not watched this movie, I would highly suggest that you do not continue with this video because I am going to spoil some things in here. So go watch it and then come back to this video. But so basically, where the story, takes off here with Captain America: Brave New World. Obviously, Sam Wilson, of course, is Cap, and now he's working with President Thunderbolt Ross, Thaddeus Ross, who he's been elected president just now here at this time, and he sends Sam and his partner out on a mission to retrieve something from Mexico, which houses something called adamantium, which is supposed to be like this new, source of this metal. Like it's much more powerful than vibranium, as they describe it. Like I'm gonna be honest, like the reason why I'm kind of over the place is this movie doesn't, to me, do the best job of like. There was no buildup. I'll say this about Captain America: Brave New World. In MCU movies, how we have a little bit of the buildup to where the main story is. We don't get that. We jump right into it. We don't get that little kind of buildup. Like you see, for example, in Avengers: Age of Ultron, how we got the buildup of the team going to fight. The team going to Sokovia, trying to get Loki's scepter, and Tony sees those visions that Wanda gave him, and he's like thinking, okay, right now the world's going to end. This is going to be my fault. I need to prepare the world, which is why he made Ultron, and that's how we got into that. But with this, it's just like they jump right into it, and Cap is Sam Wilson is taking people out and stuff, and with his buddy, the new Falcon. Trying to remember the dude's name, Torres, who was obviously the comedic relief for this movie. Every Marvel movie, every movie really in general has that type of person. He wasn't that funny to me, but he's obviously going to be that comedic relief guy, and that's what he was here as kind of a sidekick to Sam. They get the adamantium, they bring it back to Ross, who has his own agenda, as we expected. And I will say, Harrison Ford did a good job playing as President Ross, and given what they were working with and how little that they were given to work with in the allotted runtime for the movies, under 2 hours. And it felt rushed. A lot of things felt rushed. I mean, like the fight out on the Indian Ocean where they had the giant celestial frozen in the water. Like that was supposed to be the climax of the movie, but it wasn't. It wasn't. Like it felt like the Red Hulk fight scene, which is what everybody was going in for, was wanting to see. Which is what Marvel really pushed to get people in the seats in the theaters to come watch this movie. It happened like with 20 minutes left in the movie, and it's like that to me was the high point, the climax of the film, and they had at the end of the movie. And up to that point, it's just like it felt like we were passing through the movie, but at the same time we weren't. It's like I didn't know what was really going on. It's like I knew what was going on. We had we had this conflict obviously with Sam Wilson and with Ross, and the attack in the White House, and Isaiah Bradley, who is, if you watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you remember him from there. He was being controlled. And you had Samuel Stearns, who was the mastermind behind all of this. And he is supposed to be the villain, I guess, of the movie. I mean, it was all right. I mean, so to be honest, I just felt like I could tell that this movie definitely had a lot of reshoots and stuff, because like it did not look like everything was fully put together. It's like they had a couple of different ideas of how they wanted the plot line to go, and eventually they just went with what they just like, okay, we'll just kind of combine a few things and then just kind of format, and then we'll just kind of bank on the Red Hulk fight near the end to kind of like carry all of it on its shoulders. Like we'll put the other stuff in the beginning to the first to the second act, and then we'll have the fight between Sam and Red Hulk kind of just be the backbone, be the ending to kind of like to bring us home, right? Bring it across the finish line. And I think that's what the mindset was for Marvel with this movie. And honestly, the storylines definitely could have been better. The storyline could have been better, but overall it was okay. I mean, action was decent. It was, you expect from a Captain America movie. Obviously, now it's not Chris Evans doing any of the choreography or anything like that. Or Sebastian Stan. Sebastian did make an appearance as Bucky Barnes briefly in the movie, even though it was just like, Steve. I mean, Steve may have, inspired hope in people, but you give something. He said Steve gave people something to hope for, but you give people something to aspire to. And I'm like, then Steve do that too. But then it's like, because Cap's having this moment where he's like, oh man, I should have took the serum, or I don't know, this Steve made a mistake, but he's like, no, you didn't. So he had that little moment there, which was nice with Bucky and Sam. I mean, but then we don't see Barnes again, which obviously he's going to be in the Thunderbolts movie that's coming up soon in a few months. So overall, though, I mean, I'd give it a 6 out of 10, and the 6 is only because of the Red Hulk fight, which was what everybody was looking forward to when we were going to see this movie. I thought the fight scene was pretty good, given what it was, circumstances wise. The CGI in Red Hulk was good, and yeah, I mean, it felt like a long time since we had seen that in a Marvel movie, right? Like seeing the Hulk just rage out and just go crazy, throwing helicopters around and just smashing stuff, right? It had been a long time since we've seen that Hulk. And so it was good that they did this with Ross/Red Hulk here in this movie. Although I wish the fight scene would have been a little bit longer, and I wish it would have taken place a little bit earlier in the film. I think they could have had some spots where they could have slid that in there earlier in the movie. But overall, man, it was an awesome fight scene. It just was the highest point of the movie. It was the peak of the movie, and it happened to be at the end, And so, like I said, I didn't have super high expectations going into this movie. I did not. It's more. I think a lot of people look at it as it was a step. It's one of the stepping stones, furthering the MCU story as we get closer to Avengers Doomsday and then eventually Secret Wars. Like, this is one of those movies that, I'm not saying it's a placeholder, but it is a stepping stone as we get closer to those ultimate grouping, of the Avengers when they reassemble to take on Doctor Doom, which is what I'm really looking forward to. And they name dropped the Avengers a couple of times with Ross basically telling Sam that he wants Sam to help him, rebuild the Avengers, but obviously under government control because of the Sokovia Accords, which like Sam is kind of questioning of, right? Because the Avengers really wouldn't be the Avengers, obviously, because they would be under the government supervision, as when we saw that whole ordeal kind of tackled in Civil War. Um, so that's overall, man. Like I said, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it, and performance wise, I think the actors and actresses did a good job for the most part. I mean, again, the story was not much to be given with. I mean, Anthony Mackie, could tell he had a lot of fun playing in this role. And it's unfortunate that his character wasn't really given much to work with here, because he's taking on the slack of if you remember the Incredible Hulk movie in 2003, then you remember Samuel Stearns, who was kind of the villain of that movie. He's the villain here, as he's the one orchestrating the mind control, causing, he caused Isaiah Bradley to want to try to shoot and kill Ross at the White House summit and stuff and all that. So it's like he's the one getting revenge on Ross, who had him locked up in prison, in a prison, so it's like, and at the same time, Stearns was, enhancing Ross's medicine, which is what, gave him the capabilities to Hulk out. So you had that whole situation going on. And in the end, Ross is locked up in the raft, and he steps down as president because he wants America to move on. And then we get a post-credit scene, basically with Stearns talking about, yeah, you protect this world, but can you protect all of them from, all this stuff? It's like basically, hinting at the multiverse, which is what we already knew. Like we established that the multiverse was a thing way back in, Spider-Man No Way Home. And then Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. So it's like we know that this is the overarching element here of this saga in the MCU. And that post-credit scene wasn't too informative. So I don't know what the exact goal was there, but man, I don't know. What did you guys think about it? I mean, like I said, I give it a 6 out of 10. Again, that's only because of the fight scene with Red Hulk and Captain America, which was a good fight scene. Could have been better. Obviously, now a lot of people were saying, like, Sam Wilson, that's no reason should survive that fight, and he shouldn't have, especially not taking the serum. But it's his movie. He's gonna win. He's gonna survive. They're gonna talk Red Hulk down. Give him the change back. So it's like you expected that. But I mean, for what it was a really cool fight scene. I enjoyed it. Again, but see, here's what Marvel did to see. They knew that was the highlight of the film. They knew that was the peak of the movie. So what they did was they showed that in the trailer, again, trying to get people to get in the seats, buy their tickets, and then hit you with the whole first 2 acts of the movie, which was okay. Like, it wasn't much. It wasn't anything substantial, right? At least in a derivative sense, it wasn't very substantial, but they knew audiences wanted to see that the Red Hulk, right? So that was the main marketing push. It's like every trailer you saw, that was the main feature of those trailers, which was Ross turning into Red Hulk. And we got at the end of the movie. Like, it felt like it was supposed to be the climax, but it ended up not being the climax. So weird type of thing. It was the third act, like right before, kind of close to the ending of the movie. And so, like, it was a smart tactic by Marvel to get people into their seats, right? But like I said, it's a Marvel movie in 2025, and I mean, like I said, Mackie, brings it to life a little bit. The humor is there in some parts, not all the parts, but it's there. The lines, I mean, it's MCU, so you expect that, right? I mean, I'm not looking for it to be a comedy, but did it give me did I feel like it was a true Marvel movie? Did I get that feeling? Yes and no in some aspects. Again, that's where it wasn't a full boom, oh yeah, I'm totally getting the feel that this is an MCU movie. Like in some components I did, but in not in all components. So yeah, that's one thing about Captain America: Brave New World. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did you watch it? Did you like it? How do you think Sam Wilson is going to fare as the new Captain America moving forward here into the MCU as we go into the next Avengers movies and stuff? Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you subscribe here to Jay's Flicks, and we'll catch you next time.